Hello everyone! Today on stream, we managed to get our hands on the hidden corrupted Ashbringer skin, and a lot of people requested if I could make a video about it. Before we begin, two things. First of all the credit to the amazing people who actually made the guide for obtaining the skin. I had no idea how to do it, and I simply followed their instructions, so if you are looking for a guide, check the link in the description and just follow those steps. Next to that, the end of the questline had some spoilers for the Death Knight Order Hall campaign. That's the video, the story I'll be telling coming Monday, but if you still want to do the Order Hall for yourself, then this is not the video for you. Right, with that out of the way, let's start the video, and there are 3 things that you need to do before you can begin. First, your Ashbringer needs to be at level 6 artifact knowledge or higher. You can check this by holding shift and right clicking on it. On the top left corner you'll see a number, hover over it with your mouse and you'll see how far you are. You can increase the artifact knowledge by doing the work orders in your order hall. Next to that, you'll need 2 books, since this hidden skin is a reference, a love note to the days back in Classic, where people were desperately searching for the Ashbringer. They were looking far and wide, they were fishing, they were looking for clues, phylacteries, NPCs, and of course, Ned Pagel's Guide to Extreme Angling. This book can be looted from dead enemy players within the Alterac Valley battleground, and then there is a thoroughly read copy of Ned Pagel's Guide to Extreme Angling. This one can be looted from a dusty tome within Dire Mall. I found mine in Dire Mall East, behind Lefendris I believe, but if you're looking for a guide on how to farm it, check the description. You could also check the auction house if you got enough gold and you simply can't be bothered with trying to farm it. With the books in your inventory and your artifact at the right level, talk to Sister Elda, who will say, "I've been reading about a book written by an expert tradesman that spoke at length about the Ashbringer. It seems most copies were lost long ago, their tender pages scattered to the winds. I wonder if it's still out there somewhere. I'm sure we could learn a thing or two if we could piece it back together. Sister, could you take a look at these? They might be missing pieces of the book." Elda carefully thumbed through the pages, her eyes moving rapidly across the weathered texts. "By the light, High Lord, I think you're right. This must be the one. I should be able to piece it back together. Allow me just a moment. How fascinating. This Ned Pagel sounds like quite the adventurer. Aha! Success! You should see if you can find anyone who might know more about this book. I think it's hinting at something far bigger than a day of fishing." She hands over a complete copy of Ned Pagel's Guide to Extreme Angling, and the person that we're looking for is Prince Tortheldrin, ruler of the Chandelier within Dire Mall West. But in order to make him talk, you'll first have to collect the head of Nefarian within Blackwing Lair. If you've never done the raid before, I have a guide up, link is in the description. It's an oldie, but I think it still works. Now you might wonder, why Prince Tortheldrin? Well, back in the day, when people were still looking for the Ashbringer, before it could actually drop within Classic Ramas, people thought that Tortheldrin, he might have something to do with it, because the Chandelier zealots, they said, "The master holds great interest in the lair of Nefarian. If only someone would defeat the dragons and his minions and retell the tale to the prince. I bet that would loosen the prince's lips. The Ashbringer could be found." And so, many years later, that's exactly what happens. As we show him the book, we tell the tale of Nefarian's demise, and we show him the head. The prince reveals that another showed interest in the Ashbringer. "A human mage gave me a copy of the book many years ago. He kept trying to convince me to help him, going on about something to do with fighting fire with fire. I cannot leave this place, as you know, so that was the last I saw of this strange fellow. He went off to reunite with his allies, I presume. You are not the first to inquire about this book, however. I wonder, who else sought you out?" "She was a dwarf, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not often mistaken. She came here with a copy of that very book, just as you have today, but had no proof of the Black Drake's death, and so my lips remained sealed. She was quite eager to learn about the Ashbringer's whereabouts. Perhaps if you found her, she might be able to enlighten you further." This is the dialogue for Alliance Paladins, and they need to find Alexi Ironknife within Chillwind Camp in the Western Plaguelands, whereas the Horde needs to go to her counterpart, Bardu Sharpeye at the Bulwark in Tearsfall Glades. Both of them have been setting up camp and taking your break since Classic, and both of them have been saying the same thing. They're looking for a great human wizard who took up residence within Hearthglen. He was commissioned by the Scarlet Crusade to fashion their warriors and hunters with bows and guns. It's said that he completed a remarkable weapon before the Crusade killed him, and this remarkable weapon had many players speculate. Could this wizard be connected to the Ashbringer? Turns out that he is, since we can now ask them if they know anything more about what this wizard created to deserve such a fate. They don't know, they only know that the Crusaders who killed him, they're the ones who know the truth, and none among their ranks live to reveal it. Since it's time to inspect Hearthglen, the building on the left from the main building, and inside we find a journal written by Grand Inquisitor Isilian. Isilian was actually there on the day that Alexandros Mograine, the day that he revealed the strange crystal he had found in the body of a dead orc. Isilian thought that they should destroy it, shot at it with the holy light, and they discovered that the crystal did not break, instead it absorbed the light. More and more, they infused it, eventually turning it from its dark state into a holy one, which is many believe that the crystal used for the original Ashbringer, that one is actually part of a Naru, since they show a similar dark and light cycle. Isilian eventually ended up in the Scarlet Crusade, which was corrupted from within by the Dreadlord Balnazar, and under his rule the organization became incredibly fanatic, unable to see the difference between the living and the dead. Tirion Forgering's son, Talon, was also a crusader, but he figured out that it had fallen from its once noble purpose, and he tried to step away, only to be brought down by Isilian. Tirion saw the body of his son, his joy and pride in this world, and he took vengeance by killing Isilian. Turns out Isilian had quite a murder streak, since in the journal we read about what he did to the wizards. One of the sections in particular is slightly more worn than the others. The loathsome wizard is more resilient than I first expected. Still, showing him the light's wrath has been one of my great joys these past few weeks. The heathen deserves worse. Who would dare to create something so foul from the very shadows we seek to destroy? I knew his kind were not to be trusted. I cannot afford to dispose of the wretch here. The attention it would draw, if he were found, would only further complicate my glorious work. No, I have a better idea. I will bring him to death's very door and leave him in the Plague Lands. There's a particular vile slime on the river's edge that will ensure not a trace remains of the traitorous louse. If I can find the damn creature, that is. And finding the damn creature can be quite tricky, but you can find him on the eastern riverbank of the Western Plague Lands. A big thank you to Weber for inviting me during the stream over on into his realm, where the creature was actually up. Who knows how long it would have been for it to respawn, but it was there and we were able to bring it down. Now once you find the large vile slime, you'll have to defeat it and loot Tim O'Lane's phylactery, the mage that we've been looking for. A commoner wowhead, going back all the way to 2007, it states that this phylactery used to be in the game and it dropped from large vile slimes found in the Weeping Cave of the Western Plague Lands. It was eventually removed from the loot table, but those that already looted it, they could still find it in the inventory. Now it was a quest item, but no particular quest connected to it. And again, when we don't know what's going on, speculation takes over and people try to connect this somehow to the Ashbringer. I have to say, it seems like a lot of love and minor touches here and there went into this hidden skin, so props to Blizzard for that. I actually really enjoyed this questline. Anyways, we have the phylactery, and from it we can call upon the spirit of Tim O'Lane, who tells us the gruesome tale as to how the ooze slowly but surely devoured him. In his final moments, he did two things. The first was putting his necromantic learnings to the test, sealing his soul within the phylactery that we found. It did nothing for the pain of death, but it has served its purpose. Afterwards, as he was already half consumed by the creature, he hurled the crystal into the river beside us, in the hopes that someone might still put it to use against the forces of darkness. The Lich's face contours into something of a smile, since the bastard knows exactly what's coming next. Like the ancient treasure hunters before us, we are going to have to fish, and considering that it is RNG, you might be here for a while. Wowhead has reports of somewhere between 70 to 1400 cost, so best of luck. It took me around 15 minutes, and when I did it, I used Net's fishing hat together with the fishing artifacts, and I also have my fishing maxed out. I have no idea if that actually matters, if there's a certain requirement. Just know that you are going to fish for a dark crystal created by Tim O'Lane. He figured that since the original wielder of our blade proved unable to stand against the endless throngs of undead that threaten our world, that he would seek a different approach. One that could not fail. He devised a way to fight the Scourge using their own magic against them. With the River of Souls at his disposal from the Lich King's rampage, he created a counterpart to the holy relic that fuels the Ashbringer's strength, but before he could properly seal it within a suitable blade, he was found by Isilian, and the rest, as they say, was excruciatingly painful. The power of light and shadow infused into one weapon, that's what we're after here. So after fishing for a bit, you should be able to get Shard of Darkness, in which faint screams can be heard from deep within. Back at the Order Hall, we talk with Maxwell, who has his doubts about this plan. He can sense the dark presence, worries that it might change if we go through with this, but we tell him that if we can harness its power, it might prove useful against the Legion. There cannot be light without shadow, we must strike a balance, and Maxwell knows exactly who can help us. The Knights of the Ebon Blade, specifically the new 4 horsemen, Sally Whitemane, Nazgrim, Forest Trollbane, and High Lord Darien Mograine. Now coming Monday, we'll talk about them in great detail, but they serve their Death Lord, but they also kinda owe us, since they attacked Light's Hope Chapel, and they tried to turn Tyrion Fordring into a horseman, so we fly into Ekrus, and despite Sally trying to immediately get us kicked out, Nazgrim is cool, and he knows we have honor, while Trollbane wants to hear us out first, before taking action. We show them the Dark Crystal, something Darien thought only to be a myth. Surely we can't possibly hope to, but we do, and they recognize that the Ashbringer is no longer their enemy. The horsemen combine their strength, and on this day, the Ashbringer will know their power once more. Maxwell tells Darien that his father will be proud of him, and Darien tells him to never speak of his father in his presence again. Now be gone, and never return. It's cool, we're even now, as back at Light's Hope Chapel, we get the Heart of Corruption, and with it, we unlock the hidden artifact skin known as Corrupted Remembrance. You can unlock the different colors by completing 100 dungeons, completing 200 world quests, or killing 1,000 enemy players while using the hidden artifact appearance. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you today. Once again, a big thank you to all of those that worked so very hard on getting the guide up on Wowhead. Show them some love if you can. It was very easy to follow, completely accurate. Once again, link is in the description. To you, thank you very much for watching, everyone. And until next time, guys. See ya!